When I was a child, my parents told me to never go past the stone line. They say the boundary lands are scarred and dangerous.
But I've been to the capital. The lands are scarred and dangerous there, too.
The people of the kingdom are scared. They're ready for change. They want to be able to dream again.
And now, for the first time in 1,000 years, an expedition is ready to leave Solvari.
We call it the Feld.
It's the size of a city, and believe it or not, it can move.
They're taking the city past the stone line?
Out in the wilderness to find a new place to live.
Sights no mortal has seen before.
Lands untouched by any hand.
We're making our dreams reality.
And forging a new path forward.
Together. You know, together.
All to find a place where we belong.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Diceburgh. We have a great show for you tonight. I'm excited to be here. We've got a great cast of people here on 5% Chance. My name is Kurt Stridinger. I will be your fearless dungeon master for the evening. You can find me on most social medias at Mr. Kurtwise. To introduce our fantastic table of players, we will go around. First playing our fearless Leonin Paladin, almost a barbarian. Leonin Paladin Bayor, we have.
Hi, I am Steve Harvey. You can find me on various different social medias, but you can also find my art that I created on deviantart.com under the username Vashala. That's the one thing that I definitely want to plug tonight. The others you'll find eventually.
Yeah, Steve does all of the character work that you saw on the pre-show there. Next, we have our Kalashtar monk as well as our cartographer for our scouting party, Celestina, played by...
Dona, howdy. My name is Arizona. You can find me online at illegally_brown on TikTok and some other social medias that I probably don't use that often. I'm really excited to be here today. It's been flying by super quickly, and I'm just really excited to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
I think we all are. Up next, we have our water ganassi named Rylin. Hello.
Hello. I am Erica Harding. You can find me on most socials by Erica Jean 315 or Erica Jean 15. If you want to look up my TikTok, it's Erica Harding 8. But I'm so excited to be here this week. I missed a lot last week.
You did. It was a fun week.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little.
You're alive, though. It's okay.
Up next, I believe the shortest in stature of our group, our kobold wizard, Big G.
Hi, I'm Clark Kent this week. It's nice to meet you all. I shaved. I'm Jared. It's nice to meet you all. Yeah, playing my kobold. I'm excited. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah! And last but certainly not least, you know him most likely as a sassy wizard. Tonight he's going to play a dragonborn cleric named Arguvar, and it's Brill!
Howdy. I am Brill from Dumpstat, patreon.com/Dumpstat podcast. Always pay us loot. And this is a week full of changes. As he is shaved and become Clark Kent, I have worn a hat. So we're just mixing it up with the appearance this week, you know? Gotta change it up to keep it spicy.
Gotta keep
Back to you, Kurt.
Gotta keep it fresh here.
Gotta keep it going.
Well, welcome. If this is your first week here on Diceburgh, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We do a little bit of a recap at the start of every week, so don't worry, you're not going to be lost as we start in here. Welcome to the Feld. The Feld is a giant floating city that has left the kingdom, all the troubles and the woes and the dangers within the kingdom. It is left to try to face its own dangers out in this ever-shifting wilderness. The world, for the most part, is uninhabited. The last war between mortals and dragons has left tears in the veil between planes, and as such, many of the elemental planes are bleeding into the material realm and shifting in this ever-shifting wilderness that the Feld, thankfully as a floating city, can move around to try to avoid. The fearless scouts of our party here have taken a task and headed deep into the Endless Marsh, which is this giant swamp, to try to find a place where the Feld can bunker down and avoid a giant snowstorm that is coming to them. Deep in the swamp, they found the campsite of a previous scouting party, several bodies of that party. They collected a whole bunch of evidence that they have gone through some of yet and some of they have not, before setting out from the camp and finding a safe place to sleep for the night. Or so they thought. They were attacked by Banderhobbs in the night and chased out of their campsite. Several of the party members, Big G, Rylin, their captain, Yarick, were swallowed by the Banderhobbs and led into an epic chase through the swamp where they ran into a giant, seemingly living tree. Brill, yes?
Hi, Dad. Is it Yarick or Yorick? I have Yorick in my notes. Is it Yarick?
It is Yarick, yeah.
Have I given that little shit about him that I misspelled his name?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably. Chasing the Banderhobbs
I won't change
into
it.
the grove of some nature guardian, giant tree, as well as this, like I said, nature guardian woman. They convinced them to give them safe resting place for the evening, and that is where we left our last session. So to pick things up for today, as you all set your camp for the evening and you begin to look around the grove, this is the first truly nice place that you've seen since you've entered the swamp. The upper boughs of this giant willow tree cover a good radius and come down, giving almost like a veil around this grove to the rest of the swamp. There's a faint light that glows from tiny specks high up in the boughs of the tree. Smaller trees around the fringes are growing. You notice there's plenty of fruits and berries that you can forage from. As you begin setting up your camp, you notice for the first time since you enter the swamp that the light begins to dim, and you think that sunset has come on you for the first time before you look up and you notice it's actually the branches of the tree have moved inward to shade the grove from the sun a little bit. You establish a watch order. You figure out who's going first. Unfortunately, that doesn't last long, as sleep comes to all of you very quickly. You realize it's probably been a lot longer than you think it's been since you've entered the swamp here. Even the people on watch, sleep comes to you. And it is a deep sleep. And for all but Celestina, it is full of dreams. Rylin, you, in your dream, are lost in the fog. You'd been following behind the party just a moment ago, and then you blinked and they are gone. And you're calling out and searching through the fog, and you're stumbling over branches, but you can't seem to find your way. And then you notice there's a little glimmer, a little sparkle out of the corner of your eye. And you catch it and you follow it, and you're calling out, and you're hopelessly lost. And you wake up from this dream in just this cold sweat. and you notice for the first time there's bird songs that are drifting through the swamp. You look around and there are a couple of deer who are eating from berries. There's a family of possums who are curled up in a small log. Seems like they're nestled up, still sleeping for the evening. You look around, everyone else in your party is still asleep, and that's when it catches your eye. Where Bayor was asleep last night, there's just this mound of blue. And Bayor, you are the second to wake up. You wake up with a start, and as you toss yourself from your sleep, Rylin, you see thousands of blue butterflies just cascade and pour off of his body.
Whoa!
You were, warm and comforted? There was this lovely family of butterflies that shielded you while you slept. Quite interesting, don't you think?
Yes. There is something about this place that connects me.
Oh, do butterflies follow you often?
No.
So that's new then.
Were those butterflies like blue, as in like they're blue butterflies, or are they glowy butterflies?
They were just blue butterflies.
Okay. Somewhere deep in my soul, I think, there is something that calls to me that is deeper than nature and deeper than faith.
So, in what way?
The history of this place, the great chaos beings that have racked and wrecked this land. There is a place, much like this one, where there are creatures of fantastical beings. I was blessed once to be a guest in that realm, and since then, nature has been drawn to me.
Oh. That's interesting. I kind of feel the same way. Except for I do not remember much.
You were born of nature, yes? Water spirit or something?
Yes. In a way. But how and why? I'm not really sure. I just simply awoke one day. Here. But the fantastical place that you are talking about seems magical and so interesting.
It is interesting as it is dangerous. As much as I like to go back, there's a part of me that knows that if I do, I might never return.
But if it's so magical and interesting, if that is where you are to spend the rest of your life, wouldn't that just make it even more magical and interesting?
Perhaps. You are right. But there is horror there that I escaped. There are creatures there that are very beautiful and wonderful, but it is a land filled with the things that the Feld are trying to escape. Filled with competition and death and as much as I am drawn to it, I fear there is no order in that place. And it is one thing that does bring me deep fear. The fact that I am drawn to a place with such chaos.
Well, there's no order in nature. Is there? There seems to be, but I think with what we have experienced, there is a ideal of order, as in there is a thought that there is order, but within this swamp we've seen chaos, but things still thrive, which is nature. And if nature calls to you, then maybe, in a way, chaos can also call to you. Even if you are very set in your ways. Chaos does not mean change, it just means following a path. It changes too.
Arguvar, deep in your sleep, you are scrambling on the ground. There is a massive figure of a red-scaled dragonborn towering over you. You pedal backwards on your hands and feet trying to escape. The figure brings down a staff and it connects to the ground, and as it connects, it's like the earth decays away into a void and you are falling into this void. And you brace for impact that never comes, and you fall and you fall and you fall until you embrace this darkness that is all around you. And in this darkness, there's a pinpoint of light. And you blink your eyes because you think you're seeing something, but that tiny speck grows larger and larger and larger until it is a glowing pool of light that you are plummeting towards. And just as you cross that threshold, Rylin and Bayor, you see Arguvar shoot up out of his sleep.
I'm going to immediately kind of take out my greatsword and kind of whirl about. Are we attacked?
No.
No.
This is not a good place. We must leave as soon as possible. This place is very bad. This place has no place for us here. We must leave at once. I do not like it. Yes.
I would like to disagree.
Yes. Noted. You're leaving. I'm going to start packing my things as I kind of start motioning. Yeah.
As you start to move and as you put on your armor for the day, the first time you move your left arm fully, there's a sharp pain in your bicep deltoid. And you look, and there is a lump underneath your scales on your arm.
Do either of you know anything about medical things?
I could take a look.
Same.
I am going to very kind of quickly walk over to the other two, and I am going to whisper to Bayor while I'm up near you. I mustn't mate with you due to my vows. I'm getting close for just the sake of this medical examination.
Personal proximity does not mean intimacy, Arguvar.
You have a very odd custom. 6 feet at all times. And I'm going to lean my shoulder into him.
Okay, Arguvar, make a medicine check.
Oh, Bayor or me?
I'm sorry, Bayor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, is Celestina and Big G asleep?
I will say, as Bayor is making this examination, Big G, you find yourself in a very similar dream to Rylin, where you are lost in the fog of the swamp alone. You had been following the group 1 minute, you blink, and then you are lost. And you call out, and you feel this panic start to rise in you as you get more and more lost in the swamp. And just as it swells in your chest, you wake up and you reach out, and Celestina is right next to you. And just feeling him, knowing that your friends are still there, it wells that feeling for a moment. And Celestina, you wake up as Big G grabs your arm.
No, sorry. Don't worry about it. It's a little spook. I'll go back to sleep.
Large G, I might be dying. Come here.
Oh. I will gingerly stand up. And I will be like, I'm gonna survey the surroundings. If I hear I might be dying, I'm gonna make sure nothing's attacking us, because this has happened before.
Sure, Big G, as you get your wits about you, it is a very pleasant, peaceful, like I said, it is the first truly nice scene that you've stumbled across since entering this swamp.
Okay.
Rolling 19 for medicine while I'm checking out his arm.
Bayor, as far as you can tell, there is something foreign underneath his not foreign, but like an infection. It appears that it's like a pus-filled pocket that is formed underneath the scales due to some infection.
Okay.
How long do I have?
All right. Celestina's been showing me a couple of things. Watch.
I point out the pus-filled area.
Please examine my pus-filled pocket.
And I grab his arm, like check his pulse and check
Extra
everything. And I
pocket.
go, so how's the career going? Oh, if you could turn your head and cough for me. Now,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know how that helps.
Do I know what this would be?
I
have. Me personally has an idea, but
go ahead, make a medicine check.
Okay. Proficient in those. 11.
Other than it is some kind of localized infection, it resembles like splinters that you've seen that haven't been removed fully. At least what you approximate that. Well, kobold's a similar anatomy to dragonborn, so yeah.
By Palor, this isn't good. This is...
If I die, you know what you must do for my egg.
I get you. We might have to take off your arm.
So be it. I'm going to take my greatsword.
Look at them.
When you're
Calm.
Okay, I'll grab the other side.
Be calm.
No. I'm just trying to lighten the mood. It looks like you have a little bit of an infection here.
You misdiagnosed me for humor?
I'm not like a medical practitioner. I'm a kobold.
I'm gonna roll my eyes and look at Bayor. Can you believe this?
It's kobold medicine.
Hey, laughter. They say laughter is the best medicine. So I just, anyway, come here, and I just try to pop it like a pimple.
Okay.
As he
Did
moves
you wash
to
your
do
hands
that,
before you did that?
yeah.
Oh,
as
yeah, you're
he-
right. Hold on.
Yeah, as
Oh,
he
there
we go.
moves to lick
Ah.
his thumbs, I'll just take out. I have a healer's kit, which has salves, bandages, and other things to just see if it's red or yellow. Just see if there's something to pull out, right? Like a splinter or something. But if it's just a big old lump, I don't think this. I say to Big G, if there's nothing to remove, squeezing or popping it is not going to do anything.
I'll get
Other
through
than
the
to
bag.
cause our friend here some severe pain.
I do not like pain.
Yeah, Bayor, you investigate this wound a little further, and sure enough, you find that there is something underneath Arguvar's scales. And you get a set of tweezers, and you have Big G assist you, and you make sure everything is nice and clean as you
I'll
can.
be up and up.
Before
Tentacle
you
area.
pry up one of the scales, and you gingerly as you can reach in, and with a yank, Arguvar, it stings, but you don't take any damage, but it gives a good sting in your arm. Deep, you feel it as well. But Bayor, you yank out what appears to be a small piece of a mushroom.
What is it? What was in my arm?
Something that grows on trees. And I place it like on an exposed root or something so that we can look at it. Because I mean, if it grows on him, I ain't wanting any of those spores on me. And I think back to when he tackled through the spores of mushrooms when we were going through the woods, trying not to pay much attention to him. And try to think back on whether or not we got a good look at what he stepped on.
Unfortunately, that was at the time where you were intentionally trying to not pay attention to Arguvar. So, other than knowing that he had a bit of an embarrassing moment in the swamp, you did not get a good look at what caused that ruckus.
Okay. Don't mind the bird. It's not real. It literally isn't. It's my clock.
Where'd that bird come from?
It's an old lady clock to tell me that it is 8 o'clock. So I do not. I look to the druid. I look to you and Rylin.
Yes.
Do you have any druidic knowledge as to how to combat something like this? It seems to be a infection of myopic intentions.
I can definitely, if it is a small poison or possible disease, I may be able to handle it. But
it is a fun guy trying to make me a fun guy. I suppose.
Because of his vows.
Because of my vows.
Am I allowed to use a medicine check to see if one of my spells, aka Lesser Restoration, would actually work for this, or if there's anything that I can do otherwise?
Yeah, go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Which dice is gonna deceive me now? Oh, good boy. 13 on the die plus 5 for an 18.
Sure. Let me look up the specifics of Lesser Restoration here.
We've all grown mushrooms before, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
It's always happened. We've all done it. Don't embarrass me now. Come on.
In either end, one disease or one condition afflicting it. The condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
Gotcha. From your knowledge of diseases and how things work, you believe that, this lesser restoration would probably, as if this were a disease or even a fungal infection, it should have an effect on this.
So after examining it, you see Rylin kind of hold her hands over where the kind of mass was, and you see like this glittering, similar to whenever you saw the her use Balm of the Summer Court, this kind of little like wispy pixie type creature, or like what you think would be a pixie type creature, kind of come and like also fall out of her hands to cast Lesser Restoration on that place where the
and as you lay your hands and your this blue pixie comes out and touches the area, the swelling certainly does go down. Arguvar, you feel this warmth spread down the same line that the pain shot through, and spread throughout your body. This warmth, as it seems that whatever Rylin has done has had some kind of effect.
Thank you. I have an announcement. You mustn't touch anything within this swamp. I am not dying, and I do not need to lose my arm.
You actually hear a voice behind you say, I would recommend that. And you turn, and the green woman is standing a short distance from you all. Her eyes are fixed on you, Rylin. And she says, I would like you all to accompany me. It seems we have something to discuss. She turns and she beckons once, and then walks backwards, and you see she walks into this opening that is formed beneath two of these enormous tree roots coming out of the ground.
I grab my staff clumsily and like I go after her.
I look at Arguvar, who seems to be standing uncertain, and say, it was part of the agreement.
I'm just worried that she was trying to make me a fun guy, and then I'm going to motion forward and walk behind with the rest of the group.
Did we get a full rest?
You did, yeah. This is morning now. Full long rest. You are all level 4 now. Wow, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
4. So
nice
as you
even
all
number.
follow behind Rylin, the ground dips a little bit, and you notice that underneath the trunk of this tree is a small cave-like area that is formed by some of the roots that are coming off of it. There is a pool of water in the middle of this cave. 2 stones, a large stone sits on the far side of the pool from where you are. There is a soft green light from bioluminescent fungus that is glowing and giving a soft glow to the inside of this cave as this woman is standing on top of the pool of water in the center of it.
Is this similar to anything that I was infected with?
I'm sorry?
From the plant life, the bioluminescence, does it remind us of the mushroom that I was infected with, or no?
It does not at first glance remind you of it. It's a different color at the very least, but there is, a tie-in with a bioluminescent fungi.
Okay, that's the only reason why I was just like, maybe. I want to know if she put something in me. I got to know there, Kurt.
And she stands at you, Rylin, as you're the first to come in. Her gaze does not part from you until the rest of the group comes in, and Bayor, you notice her gaze shifts to you as you all enter. and she says, "Two of you smell of my home, and I would like you to explain why."
It's been quite a while since I've had a shower. I apologize. I've been trenching through the swamp for quite
It wasn't
some time.
you,
Oh.
little kobold. She now makes it very clear she is looking at Rylin and Bayor. And she goes, "The both of you, you have the scent of the Feywild on you."
The Feywild?
Yes.
I look at Rylin just to see if you are certain of that answer. Are you completely clueless as to the name? Because you said you had no idea where you come from.
I'm completely
Okay,
clueless.
yeah. Then I speak first. I am Bayor Skeldmane of the Fire Mains. I am not of the Feywild, but in my journeys when I was younger, in a forest I know not the name of anymore, I walked under what I can only suppose was a fairy gate. I was lost for some time. In my naivety, I had no idea where I was. And there are laws in that place that govern every creature, that you must only take what you are given and can only take what you can physically muster. And it is about competition. And you must not give freely. There was a small fairy. And she was cold, from what I could see. I had just earned a sash in a knight's tourney, so it was. I simply offered her the sash for warmth. And upon my touch, she woke. I did not expect a reward. I only offered warmth. But I had broken a rule of her court. I had given something that was not asked. And because of that kindness, I was owed. I was led out of the Feywild by that fairy court and promised never to return. That is all that I know.
And you, lost spirit, you don't know the name of the Feywild?
No. I really only woke up on a beach. Maybe a year and a half ago. I was brought in by some lovely water maidens, who taught me and showed me the true nature of myself. But the Feywild, it sounds magical from what Bayor tells me. It sounds quite lovely until what he just mentioned.
It is. Or it was.
Oh.
Tell me, are you friends of the Fey then?
I mean, I think that I have a lot of my essence comes from this very small friend, and I'll expel one of the Balm of the Summer Court so that my healing spirit pops up.
As you do this, you see her solid, glowing green eyes. They widen. As she regards you a little more closely, and you see she steps forward on the surface of the water. Rylin, as she approaches you, there is something very familiar about her form and this essence, and she touches your cheek with the back of her hand, and she says, "You are the lost child of the Winter Court." You have wandered so far from home.
I didn't mean to.
As it goes.
The Winter
So this-
Court?
Hello, strange creature. Just tuning in here. I'm not really all that aware of whatever it is you come from or whatever it is you do. But mathematically, there's just here. So I want to realistically work with you to figure out what you're talking about. Is it like a couple miles away? Where is this court? Where is that?
Yeah, the Feywild, parts of it, are closer than you might think.
Give me meters. Give me miles. What?
We're standing on water, right? Or near water?
It's near water, yeah. And you see that she opens her arms out and she says, "If you are looking for the spring court of the Feywild, then you have found it."
Oh, okay. So it's right.
Wait.
Okay.
So wait, in the Feywild right now?
You are somewhere. Yes, there is much that has happened.
I'm
There's
sorry.
much-
Everybody has kept saying it, and I've been so confused for all of this. I've seen tree roots open up. What is the Feywild? What
I
is
would
all
like
of
to
it?
know
no
what the
idea.
Fey Weird is as well. Yes.
Me
What is
too.
the Fey Weird?
Can I bring Arguvar over to the side of the water just to kind of give him maybe a little bit of an explanation mathematically?
Ooh, a tiny team
Sure.
huddle. Absolutely. Yeah. Pull me
Yeah.
aside, coach. Teach me something.
I bring him over to the
Rylin has
water,
her, like fidget spinner water.
and I bring Celestina as well if they are also willing
Yeah.
to look at our reflections. I say,
Um,
you see your reflection in the water.
Yes, that is me.
do I see my reflection in the water?
Oh, that's a good question, DM.
Do we see our reflections in the water, DM?
You do, yes.
Enough of this.
I'm
The
sorry.
bioluminescent mushrooms, I guess, are glowing. I am here, but I am also there. If I had the ability to switch places, for that reflection to control my movements instead of the opposite, then that place, what you're currently seeing right there, that reflection, would then be its own world. And that thing you are looking at, its own being. It is on another plane of existence, Arguvar. But it is right next to us, under our feet.
Aor, I'm worried that your mane is growing out of your brain. I need to tell you that that's water, our reflection, and there's one plane, and it's this one. And I'm going to kind of walk away in a bit of a huff and kind of cross my arms. I'm flat earthering a little bit. I'll admit to that.
And the woman calls
Oh.
after you. She says, "The Leonin, he speaks the truth.
Oh,
You would
it's
be wise to
like-
listen."
it's like the land of the quarry. Okay, I understand. Are you all not familiar with the land of the dead? Where your spirit goes after it's finished its second cycle?
Hold up. Time. Arguvar's having a
we are
moment.
breaking the lizard, the dragon man's head.
Arguvar is going to pull out one of his mighty scrolls, the scroll of regulations, and hold it out. And he's like, I know there's one plane, and it's this one, and we're in it. There's no land of the dead. There is no Fey Weird. We're here, and that's it.
Wait, but do you believe in the underground? That's the question.
What do you mean the underground? What are you talking
Oh,
about?
that's where I'm from. I'm from the Underdark. It's like the surface up here, which I didn't believe in for a long time. And then I came up, and I was like, boom, it's true. So why can't this other stuff exist, right? You know, you don't know.
We don't have the math for it, large G. That is why we can't have all this.
I don't know what's math.
Listen, we are just going to have to accept that in all this, I am correct and you are wrong, but that's okay.
How do you think I'm able to speak into it? How do you think, and as I say, how do you think, all of a sudden you feel that cold chill on the back of your neck, as in your mind you hear, I'm able to speak to you in such a way, as my mouth isn't moving?
The same way I can do this, and I would like to cast all of my cantrips at once. I would like to...
A small carnival
Divine
parade.
Word, Thundercrap, control fire, like... There are many things in this world given to us by the grand equation, and you have one of them.
I forgot about magic, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't know how I forgot about magic whenever a giant tree opened up, but it did happen. I don't really understand how to explain the idea of other worlds existing to you. I'm not very well... Believe it or not, I haven't been very educated on it, but from what I understand, it's... Bayo, you said it's like a reflection? Reflection world? Or anything?
It's not quite a reflection. That is only how I was explaining how you might journey to it.
Through the water?
Reflection as in just being so close yet so far. The direct parallel kind of thing.
Exactly.
So, let me try to get this in my mind. This is fascinating information. I love learning about this stuff. So, there's two worlds, you're saying. Okay.
More than that, but yes.
There's more than that. That's incredible. But you have to go through it. Like through the water portal, water tunnel thing.
You're
I guess
very
a water
close.
tunnel. Yeah.
Yes, it has less to do with water and more to do with the journey. You have to cross over. And I put my paw above the water and I say, I am in the material. And then I put it under the water. And now I am not.
You are taking a dip.
Wait,
I cannot follow this.
I dive in the water.
You're still here. You're still here. It was a metaphor.
I turn back to the giant tree spirit lady that has been standing here watching us understand the concept of different worlds for the last 5 minutes. And I say, I'm very sorry about this, just kind of completely interrupting you. What were you saying again before we got on this, before we talked about other worlds? As we fish Big G out of the water. Big G, you can't just swim in someone else's pool. It's a little rude. You have to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
You have
apologize.
no sunscreen on.
It's not someone else's pool. It's the Fey Weird.
But you were saying, person who seems to know my friends?
You are correct for the most part, Skeldbane. The Feywild is the place where most of creation sprung from. It is a realm parallel to the material realm here. However, as you may have noticed, the material realms aren't so separate as they were. And she sort of motions out towards the swamp. She says, all across the realms, the elemental planes, the Feywild, the Shadowfell, there is chaos. The veil between realms has fallen. And they are melding together. They are bleeding over. You stand in what remains of the spring court of the Feywild, being taken over by the Shadowfell. The Shadowfell, as she looks to Arguvar, as your friend said, is the land of the death, and it is a very real place as well.
Mm-hmm.
So homes are coming together
Wait a
and
minute.
overlapping.
Okay,
Wait, but
Hold
how
on.
would they all fit if they're overlapping?
pause.
That's the problem.
So I rolled a long time ago about figuring out that Vanderhobbs were from the Shadowfell, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Then Bayor's gonna put the pieces together. That's why the Vanderhobbs never left. They had nowhere else to go. We weren't walking through a swamp in the material plane, Arguvar. We were walking through a swamp in the Shadowfell.
In the material
We've
plane.
been in the Shadowfell.
Wait, how would
In
we
the
have...
material plane.
Wait, how do
When
shadows
would we have
fall?
got...
We've crossed. As I said, it's simple.
Is that
Like I
why...
did in my youth. I
Wait.
crossed without knowing. There's no door.
Is that
There's
why
no
it hasn't
road.
gotten darker? Is that why the sun hasn't moved?
Because time is frozen. The
I don't
Shadowfell, there
know.
is no time.
I sit down. I think I'm going to sit down.
Our Argivar's already been just sitting, going, okay.
Yeah, Bayor is a fleet of emotions, just being like, I figured it out.
So
It is, I'm sorry, keep going.
just we, I think, actually walking through a swamp that is in the material plane, in the Shadowfell, and now in the Feywild. We never, from what I understand, our guardian telling us, never left this plane, though.
Wait,
Wait,
I've got it. Wait a minute.
wait. Oh, you
No.
go first, then I'll
Large
go.
G, one moment. I have a question. Tree, woman, creature, thing. Yes? You.
My name is Kamord.
Kamord. Awesome. I have a question for you. Are you saying that things are collapsing, falling into place, falling into one thing, correct? Things. I don't know all these things, but they're collapsing into one thing, correct?
I am not sure. I'm not
And
sure if
things-
there is a blending. I will say that the spring court of the Feywild, and I fear more and more of the Feywild is being consumed by this swamp.
Okay, we are talking about clearly the same thing, but just a cultural difference. I'm starting to weed it out. I'm starting to get it. Okay, so you are talking about things going into chaos, calamity. Bad things are happening, correct? I knew it. The Sundering Paradox is happening, and it's just as confusing as the Elder said it would be.
Hold on, wait.
I also have something to add on. Specifically, Bayor, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you say these things are from the Shadowfell, right? And
The
that they had-
Vanderhobbs.
Yeah, those weird big toad creature things, and that part of the Shadowfell's here. What if old Granny is the person that was doing this shit?
Lady Balmora?
Yeah. What if she's like in charge? Like, what if she's more dangerous than we think?
That's what I like to see from you, Large G.
Sorry, did you
how
say
many of us-
Balmora?
Yeah, she was a lady who
know
gave us
her?
tea before we came here.
Oh, that old hag.
Oh, we figured it out.
We like her. She has tea. Arguvar
Wait, was
has
the
lost
tea
all
not good?
composure.
Wait, should we have drink in the tea? Come on.
His helmet's just
If
bobbing
she
back and
offered
forth.
you anything freely, it is probably not dangerous. That is not Balmora's style.
Okay.
What is her style?
To
Lie, to deceive?
offer
Working up a
dangerous
party?
deals to those in desperate need. Balmora is a hag, a powerful witch of the swamp. she was, unfortunately, one of the Fey spirits that was a part of the Spring Court. It does not surprise me to know that she has made the swamp a home for herself.
Wait, but Grandma asked us just to bring her some flowers, the swamp lilies. Rylin, do you have any on you?
I grabbed one.
And I assume we show the swamp lily.
Oh,
These?
pull it out of my other nature pouch.
These wouldn't be used for. I guess they probably have a myriad of uses, but primarily they wouldn't be used for anything harmful, would they?
And you see as she takes it and holds it in her hand, there's a smile that actually crosses her face, and she says, No, nothing dangerous. That clever old witch. These swamp lotuses, they are a bloom of life that only occurs around death. They cross the line between the Shadowfell and the Feywild. It is likely that Balmora, and she hands the flower back to you, it is likely Balmora was using the flower to stave off the effects of this swamp, to allow her to travel freely. If you had more of these, I would be very interested in acquiring them.
We can probably remember where I found them.
I've got one.
Wait, stop it, Big G. Listen, I feel like we've had two folk ask us for these mystical magical flowers. I feel like we need a team huddle before we give them out to anybody else.
Hey, you're right. Hey, Kamord, come join the team huddle real quick.
What?
This will be a moment we always do this.
Yes. Wait, should we invite Yarrick? He's kind of with us right now.
Yeah, he is.
Look at Yarrick. What is Yarrick doing in this situation?
He's been following us around clueless, man.
Yarrick actually has been dead asleep. He is still snoring on like a little moss-covered rock. You all look out. You can barely see him. He's as he rolls over.
Yeah, probably deserves it.
Yeah.
First of all, Bayor, always trust your gut. You and me, we had that, right? Hag sense. But also, you can tell that Arguvar is just like switching. He is all over the place because his world has just been turned upside down. But I do not know if it is the right move immediately for us to be giving out these mystical magical flowers to anybody who asked for them, especially if they're able to transcend realms or whatever. I don't think that's immediately something that we necessarily would like to do. But what we should do, if I could use the Feyweirds people's vocabulary, is springcourt Balmora's head from her body.
Wait, do you want like a diagram for this? I'm gonna start like pull it in minor illusioning a chart and just like writing down the whatever.
Large G, this is the most useful thing you've ever done. Continue.
Crudely sketched Balmora with her head going boop boop boop.
I like that plan.
I mean, Balmora may be something that inhabits this land, but she hasn't necessarily done anything to harm us.
Well,
not directly.
I'm starting to go team evil granny. She has been like releasing these bandahubs that almost killed me and Rylin and Yarrick. I'm gonna be honest.
Warned us about it as well.
She did. She also saved, I think, you guys' lives a little bit. Whenever the mist was a thing. Made it a little bit harder for you all to be susceptible?
Because she wanted to get the flowers from us to transcend realms, to do more evil in other places?
I don't think that's what they were saying.
I'm going to be honest. We have two people here asking for the same thing. And when we get into this math problem, someone has to have a spring court from the rest of the body. And we just have to pick.
I don't think two people wanting the same thing means someone has to die.
Right.
We're clearly on opposite sides.
I don't.
I don't think anybody needs to die.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it may be same family. Just we all have those. I mean, I've heard of those cousins we don't really like, but you still have to love them because they're family.
She said hag.
Right, but I think that's just a creature.
Oh wait, is it not the person?
Evil witch?
I mean, I don't think it's a. I think it's just what she is, as in how she was born, not a mean thing.
I think what really needs to be addressed is the fact that a hag has a domain and has a place where they should reside, and that place is not here, outside of civilization. When they get too close, they start to prey, as perhaps this one tried to do with us.
And made like 6 Banderhobs. Like just
Wait.
Just did that.
As safety?
He said that he was trying. I just don't understand exactly what would be the end goal in warning us.
If she was a creature, a hag, she could have been a creature of opportunity, using the Banderhobs, as you said, for safety.
Right.
The issue.
Yeah, can I ask, do you mind if I step out of the circle real quick? I have 2 questions for Kamord.
Absolutely.
And I'll come back. Okay.
You're excused.
Excuse me, Kamord. Just quick little questions, because my brain's starting to turn on. Long night.
She turns. She's been touching one of the roots of the tree while you all have had this conversation, and she turns to you and addresses you.
So this whole swamp thing that's Shadowfell, what was it, Feyweird you were calling it?
Feywild.
Feywild, yes. How long has this been going on? How long has this crossover episode been going on?
The endless marsh here arose many years ago. Its influence has been spreading. I'm not sure what caused it, but it dragged the Feywild into the Shadowfell.
Here's my second question then. You seem to know Balmora. How long has she been here?
I presume she has been here the same time that we have.
Is Balmora the good sort that would be nice to the civilization and the citizens near her?
Balmora is not the most dangerous witch that you could find. She often she does not mean poorly. She just does not she does not think through her actions most of the time.
All right.
Now,
harmless. Well, not harmless, but
no.
She has no
It's not harmless.
So
harmless.
Okay, hold on. Team huddle back.
All right.
I do have a question for the DM on whether or not all of us know kind of what happened to cause this rift, right? With the War of the Dragons and all that stuff that's causing the Feld. The reason why we are leaving Solbari is because of the elemental plane shifts and stuff, or is that metagame stuff and we don't know that?
No, so that's pretty common knowledge. Everyone in the Kingdom of Solbari knows that the outside, the exact source may not be well known, but it's common knowledge that the planes are shifting and ever changing, and what could be a desert one day could be a frozen tundra the next.
Which that part is common knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, could we assume that Balmora is not the person bringing the Shadowfell into this region, or
she more came with it, is what I'm assuming.
Okay. I would see. Hold on. Team huddle.
Mm-hmm.
No, what I'm thinking is. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I feel welcome. I feel seen.
Absolutely.
So I was thinking, what if Balmora, right? Like Beor came from the Feywild, and apparently could just like through water go to the Feywild, right?
Anyone can, yes.
What if Balmora's bringing the Shadow Falls to here? What if she's the cause? That's just my theory. I could be completely wrong. I just learned what these things were like 10 minutes ago.
My next question then would be, what would we do about it? Are we strong enough to fight something, to take care of something that is bringing another dimension into our dimension?
I mean, we got sponsors, we got, captains. I bet Yarick could easily take her down.
I lean back and look at Yarick. How's he doing?
Snores of a champ right there.
Okay, maybe Yarick probably could.
Well, I find it odd to think that we have to either A, rely on the tea time we had with her for our complete idea of her character, and B, have to not do anything, because frankly, if this is happening, it's a far bigger issue. We should at least confront her, at least.
Well,
we planned on going back to her anyway, so we could just ask her then.
Also, we could
Why
also...
ask?
The town's been missing people, right? They've been, people have gone missing. We know who's up to it now. We could get her arrested. She'll be locked up forever. Maybe the swamp, poof, goes away, and then we get easy access to go through it.
Ooh, this
Some
is a
people
good
were
question.
missing because they were the scouting parties, right? That's the ones we were talking about?
Well, there
Or
was also
have people just
from
been going
town.
missing in the town.
Yeah, there's a whole billboard full of missing posters at the center of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that that woman and her son. I'm sorry, Rylin.
I was just going to say, I think that, what we're walking into is just a cataclysm kind of situation of all of the things. I don't believe the swamp is really going to go away unless we really figure out how to, fix the world. This has been a problem since the beginning of the Feld.
I agree.
And of Silvari. So we're kind of going a little out of our depths.
Balmora seems to be a symptom of what has happened. Balmora being expelled from the Spring Court into the Shadowfell, and then the Shadowfell coming into the Spring Court.
Well, I think she
may
was
not have
expelled
been her
from.
intention.
She was expelled from the Spring Court whenever the Spring Court found solace here in the swamp. And I think maybe she was just trying to find things to defend herself, and it just so happened to be things from the Shadowfell.
This is a lot of
that is
benefit
true.
of the doubt for a person who makes giant death toads.
If that is true, and she was only creating things to defend herself, then what she should do is make sure she understands the new laws of the material plane. They don't account in the Shadowfell as they do here.
I agree.
If you give a creature the chance to do what should be done, then the judgment shall be passed.
Right.
But I don't believe that we should judge so harshly based on someone who is naive and following the rules that they were used to in a realm where those creatures were natural.
These are many assumptions.
Yes, I do believe we are dealing with a fish out of water, as it says.
I also feel like we're...
frog out of water.
I believe that she comes from a realm or a place that is clearly negative, as everything we've seen from this place has killed things. And if we ask them politely to please not kill things, methinks more things might be killed. So, my assumption is that we tell her to turn herself in to the authorities, and hopefully she will comply.
I feel like we're out of our, no pun intended, realm here. Where she's not from our realm, so maybe Kamort would be better off to deal with her. Because they are from the same place. And if her atrocities are so wrong, maybe it's more a problem for those of her own kind and her own realm who know her own laws.
Sorry to interrupt. we started this group huddle to figure out who we're giving the lotuses to, right?
Yes.
Why don't we just communicate with Kamord and ask her what she wants with them? It seems like we're just avoiding the subject instead of just being upfront and asking.
We made our way around the bush a few times.
I still think murder will eventually be an option, but I go for it.
You thought that going in.
It's happened so far. What happened to the Banderhops? We don't talk to them. We kill them.
I tried.
I lean out of the huddle. What's our friend doing now? What are they doing as we've huddled up?
So she has gone back. She appears to be touching part of the root of the tree. And Celestina, you can see her lips appear to be moving very faintly.
Okay. I'm trying to know if I would read. I wouldn't know how to read lips. I can't even read books.
Wait. No, never mind.
Kamord, guardian of this place. What do you need from these lotus flowers? Balmora needed them to stave off this life that she has traveled to. What would your use be? You have life in abundance here.
And you see there's a sadness that overcomes her eyes as she is touching this tree. And she looks to the roots and looks up the tree. She says, "My lover is dying, and I want to help him pass peacefully."
Sold. You got him. I just take my lotus out of my spell book and I just go to hand it to her.
What do you say? Arguvar?
I would like to roll insight, please, Dad.
Okay. Sure.
I can't accept every sob story that comes my way. Absolutely not.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna roll for it, but I have a passive 16 insight. Would I also pick up anything?
Different vows.
Yeah, that's true.
I take everything at face value.
That's why we love you, Big G. That's going to be a 23 on insight, as 23. I just.
So both Arguvar and Celestina, you both realize, Miss Celestina, she has seemed very guarded up until now, and everything she says has been very selective. She's been very selective with her wording. But Arguvar, you pick up for the first time as she has talked about her lover. There is a hint of that wall coming down a little bit, a hint of honesty to her words that wasn't present. Not that she was lying to you, but that earnesty wasn't present before.
Do you not think that he will pass peacefully on his own? Or they will pass peacefully on their own? I don't want to assume the gender of your tree.
Say this, yeah. You. There is a movement and a great creaking of wood as two roots pick up and very slowly move and set down again. And she says, "He has been in pain for some time. Whatever sickness is out in this swamp is taking him. When he goes, so will I. But that's okay. I don't want to be without him. I just wish that I wish that if we were to die in this place, we do so peacefully together."
And is it implied that the Shadowfell is the thing that is actually killing them?
Or is there another source? Yeah.
She is, from what you're picking up, she is implying that the presence of the Shadowfell is what is sapping the life from this tree.
Do you have any idea where the location of this Shadowfall is? Source of it at all?
There was a place deep in the heart of the swamp. There is a terrible beast, Modrak, one of the last dragons from the war.
Yeah?
He had made his hoard deep within the Shadowfell to escape the punishment. When the Shadowfell and the Feywild combined, there was a spire, an obelisk that rose from the heart of the swamp. I do not believe it is from the Feywild, the Shadowfell, but I worry.
As soon as she says obelisk, I pull out the sketchbook. You mean this? And I show the sketch from the camps. This thing? And kind of flipping through the last pages of it as it's getting more and more intense.
Where did you find that?
There's a camp not too far from here, and I guess some of our compatriots had fallen. This was among their possessions.
And none of you are the ones who drew that.
I've never seen something like this.
Your compatriots, as you called them, were not alone. There were others. They too had visions of this obelisk. Most who enter the swamp do. There is a sickness, there is a disease of not only the body, but of the spirit. It infects all of those who walk here. And she kind of casts her gaze across the whole lot of you, and she says, "It has a grasp on you now."
How do we get rid of it?
You get out of the swamp.
But if we leave, and this thing continues?
Then it is likely the next to fall will be Feyre of the Summer Court.
The fall?
I presume the fall will be next, then the winter.
You mentioned the Winter Court when it came to me. What did that mean?
The Winter Court is a very strange court within the Feywild. Many believe that they represent death, the end of the seasons, but they represent a continuing drive, the beginning of a new cycle of life. There is a tale of one of the children of the Winter Court who was lost through the realms. The Winter Court. And she opens her hand and makes a gesture to represent your pixie friend. They all have similar gifts.
You mean I have a home?
Yes. For now.
I wish you left out that last part, but at least I know I came from somewhere. Thank you.
Kamort, when we first entered the swamp, we were looking for a specific place, a great valley beyond this place, this swamp. Do you know of its location from here?
She gestures and says, "Follow me."
All right.
You see she walks out a little tunnel that's in the cave.
Wait, should we get Yorick?
Yeah, let him sleep.
This is a nice place. It's
Are we
fine.
coming
It's the
back, or should we get
Feywild.
Yorick?
It's a Fey weird.
I'm fine with leaving him. He seems comfortable.
He's been through a lot. He deserves to sleep in.
Not to mention, we can trust all the strangers we find.
Before
helmet's just going along with it.
Strangers and just friends we haven't met yet.
I don't go over to like shake him awake, but in Yarick's mind, whether or not it wakes him up, he does hear, "We're going inside the big tree, further in the big tree if we're not here when you wake up."
You see him roll over in his sleep and go, "Big tree, wake up."
While we're walking and following them, I'm going to lean down to large G and just go, "Sounds like we have to deal with a dragon."
Sounds like we get to see Grandpa.
I'm very excited.
Oh, I'm very excited too.
As you all gather along the side of the tree, you see a large branch drops down and a platform, almost a basket of woven branches, is presented. Kamord motions and you all climb on, and very gently you feel yourselves being risen through the boughs of this tree until you're rushing through this heavy fog layer, and then all of a sudden there's a break in the fog, and for the first time in what feels like days, you can actually see the horizon. You can see it's still a cloudy day, but you can more clearly make out the sun still has not shifted position in the sky, but it is more visible beyond the clouds than it was in the fog. Far off to the northeast or northwest, you see what appears to be two shadows rising up along the horizon that spread out as far as you can distinguish to either horizon line, with a heavy fog that is obscuring the middle. And Kamord gestures and says, "I believe you are speaking of the Great Trench."
That's where we were headed.
Thank you. We will be off immediately.
Wait, hold on. So there is a dragon where we're going.
Yes.
She turns and she actually points the opposite to the east, directly east. Actually, Celestina, go ahead. Give me a perception check here as our cartographer, just to see how well you can see and line things up and get them sketched out on your map.
Could I assist them now that I've taken the keen mind feat and always know where north is?
Sure, absolutely.
Hells yeah.
He's got a little compass that always
Celestina,
spins.
just let you know. Immediately that direction is exactly north.
There's a spinning scale on his forehead.
I just turn that direction. I say, "Thank you, Big G. I appreciate that. That'll be very helpful."
Of course. I can help you out.
Perception check, you said?
Yeah, with advantage.
With advantage? Okay, that's either a 24 or a 24.
Amazing. Yeah, that little nudge to, oh yeah, that is where north is. And you start sketching things out on your map. Kamord, you see, she gestures to the east, much closer than the Great Trench. You see, rising up out of the mist is the form of the spire, the obelisk. Celestina, you gauge the obelisk is probably about a day's journey east. The trench is maybe somewhere between 2 and 3 times that distance to the northwest.
Is there so we would have to be going towards the spire, then doubling back if we wanted to hit both.
Yeah, they are in opposite directions.
All right. Are there any other points of interest that I can notice from up here?
I'm right
Yeah,
here.
so
With 24.
yeah, I'll say there are you can notice definitely the first scouting camp, which helped with, because after your chase through the swamp with the Banderhobs, you had kind of disoriented yourself, but you're able to, from this height, pick out the first scouting camp that you had all come across. You're able to see in between here and the obelisk appears to be another disturbance in the trees. You're not sure if it's a camp or something else, but there is something in between here and the obelisk. And in between you and the trench, I'll say you can plot out a couple of like major landmarks to mark your way and to help make, navigating on your map easier as you get down from this height.
Right. Well, this isn't going to be perfect, but it should be a rudimentary thing. We'll be able to know where to turn left, know where to turn right, and know where to keep straight ahead. If Big G, you at least can keep pointing us north to rebalance us.
I will constantly minor an illusion an arrow that points north.
You do not understand how useful that will be.
Kamort, you have told us honestly and earnestly the reasons why you need our help with the flowers. Let me be just as honest with you. Our city is currently moving this direction, and it is headed towards that trench. We are tasked, and so are our companions here in the swamp, to find the Feld a safe passage. I do not believe we can do both, but I would endeavor to try to find what is causing this sickness in the spire, and also find safe passage in the trench. And in order to do so, I believe we may need your assistance. Is there a way you can secure safe passage for the Feld to the trench through the sickness if we travel to the spire?
If you traveled to the spire, if you somehow find a way to abate the sickness, if you find a way to help extend Dormak's life, we will do what we can to aid you.
I turn to the rest of my party. I cannot make this decision for you. But if what Kamort has said is correct, there are souls at stake that I cannot barter with. This sickness will take the summer court, and I have a deep connection with it. I have not asked much of you, but I ask as a friend. Please help me.
I walk up next to Bayor and I grab his paw. And I just say, I'm here with you. Apparently I'm from one of the courts. And I know nothing about them. And would really like to. I understand your connection. I'm here to help. I can't see how we couldn't help her. How we can't save her lover. Are you with us?
It would be an absolute shame if you lost your home before you could even have a homewarming party. And also, I'm pretty sure that's what we're here for, is to deal with it anyway, so can't think of a reason why we can't do both. And I smile at you. Big G, you up for another adventure?
I'm up
Dealing
for
with things besides just going through a swamp?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it'd be a fun time. Might be a little dangerous, but if we get to see some cool stuff, I'm always down.
We will confront a dragon, we will go to a spire, we will help you, and we will gain an ally for the people that we need. That sounds good to me.
We're
But
gonna
we
talk
must
about
go now.
We're gonna talk about that dragon thing a little bit later. That might be a detour we might deal with a little bit later.
Time is of the essence.
We
I
must
agree.
go now.
If you have a moment, an hour.
We don't
or
have
so.
moments. We're literally losing time. I just said we're losing time. Someone's dying.
Arguvar,
What are you doing?
you're fine. We can take a moment.
There's one realm. There's one realm.
We haven't had breakfast
He
yet.
can't even. He barely hold up his helmet right now.
I'm so
Excuse me.
just depressed.
DM.
Yes.
I forget. When is the city supposed to come through here?
So the city has been traveling this whole time. It's only been a couple of days, though. I would say the city was a good week behind you, though. So I believe you had a week to check back in with the Feld.
We're pretty high up right now. We can't see it, right? It's pretty far away.
Make a perception check.
Okay, just want to make
It
sure.
is right behind us. Oh shit!
Oh shit!
We gotta move.
Sweet.
We forgot to put the parking brake on. Oh
That'd
no.
be an 8.
An 8. Big G, unfortunately, you're just too distracted with the other sights and everything else going
There's
on.
a dragon. There's multiple realms. There's so
It's
much in my
cloudy.
brain.
There's one
Yeah.
realm, large G. I'm still not.
No, I'm from another
Only
realm
one
too, aren't I?
pancake in this stack.
I'm from the underground realm. Isn't
Yeah,
that
we could probably stretch the definition. Yeah, Big G, you can definitely be from a different realm.
Well, isn't that what we're talking about? We travel through tunnels to different realms. That's what I took from it.
Shakes his head.
It's like
Come on,
magic.
you were saying a moment.
I was gonna say we're gonna take a break on a wholesome note, but we'll take a break here. As you all have agreed to help Kamord and Dormak. We will be back shortly, folks, as we use the restroom and get some drinks. I encourage you to do the same and join us back here in a brief 10 minutes. Don't miss, because there's much more adventure to be had.
Time
We'll
to get
see
a
you
wiggle
shortly.
on.
Boy, see you in a little bit.
And welcome back to episode 4 of Diceburgh. I hope you had a good little break. I know I did. I know I had a nice little break there. I got to pet my cats. Jumping back into the game here, as you all have made a deal with Kamord to go and pursue and check out this obelisk in exchange for hopefully safe passage for the Feld through this swamp. She lets you know that she can help make a potion of some sort out of the swamp lotus if you give her about an hour or so time to prepare it all for you. It will help you stave off the effects of the swamp to your minds. Oh, there's one of the cats.
Well, that gives me enough time to start making breakfast. Big G, are you hungry?
Oh, I'm starving. Let's cook up a good Underdarkian food.
I'm
I've
gonna
got soup,
read
so
the
we
journals.
can do that.
I'm gonna read the journals that we haven't opened yet
Okay.
while we wait.
So, to remind our audience and you all, the evidence that we have found that you carried with you, there was a journal from the captain of the guard that had died. There was a journal that you found on the armless body. Near the armless body, you also found a small leather pouch that you have not opened yet. You also have the I don't know, did you carry the breastplate and the shield, or did you leave that? Okay.
I had been carrying the shield because it had the an insignia on it, and I wanted to see if I could find whoever's shield it was. So it's
Gotcha.
just like on the pack, and I drop it. I don't use it. I have my own.
Gotcha. Then you have that shield, as well as the sketchbook that Celestina showed Kamord.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be reading the one of the journals that we found.
Okay. Which one would you like to start with? The captain's journal is a small leather bound. It has a clasp on it. The journal that you found on the other body is a much simpler. It's got it's very simple leather. It doesn't have any clasp. It's just sort of something that you stuff in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead with the captain's journal. He had the map anyway. He seemed to know what they were doing.
So, opening up the captain's journal here, you find at first it is a detail of the trip into the swamp. It's a very like Star Trekian captain's log. We set out from the Mirenfeld today into this swamp. I'm going to cut to the parts that are information that you would get reading through, flipping through. Give me an investigation check here just to see how quickly you can get it done.
That was a 4 on the dice.
Okay.
So investigation is also a -1, buddy.
Okay. So I will say it takes you the better part of this hour to read through this journal. But here's the relevant information that you get.
It's really hard for me to turn pages. I got big paws.
The first line that sticks out to you is, "We lost Farble. They got sucked into some whirlpool and eaten by those creatures. We had no choice. We had to run." You presume to the first body that you found in the swamp. The next phrase or the next line that piques your interest says, "Discovered a survivor of the first team. He's not in good shape. Keep saying it's real, whatever it is. Ambrose believes they found the trench, but I'm not so sure." The next one, a couple pages later, says, "Ambrose has convinced Marcos he's right. They're being very vocal about their disagreement, but I'm maintaining order as captain. The rest of the party is out there. I know it." And the final line on the last page that has anything written on it says, "Hobson is dead. Marcos attacked him. I can't make any sense out of these damn maps without Hobson. Ambrose is furious. Says I've been walking us in circles. I'm hiding the valuables in case he tries anything."
Bayard draws the assumptions that they got killed from the mists, but is going to go ahead and look through the smaller tattered journal.
Okay. Reading through that one. This one is, I'll say it takes you the rest of the hour. You can read through this one. There's only a couple of lines that stick out to you towards the end of the journal, kind of referencing it to what you found in the captain's journal. The lines say, "Hobson's been obsessed with this shard ever since he's found it. Something's not right about it. Something's not right about this whole damn swamp." The second one says, "I took the shard off Hobson. He's acting like that survivor we found now. Threw a fit when I did it too, but it's for his own good." And the final line says, "Marcos bit me, the freak. First he ate all our rations and now he bit me. Probably wanted the shard for himself. Well, he can't have it. It's mine."
So this is Amarosa's journal then.
This is, yes, this is Amrose's journal.
It's like one of them little logic puzzles where I had to sit the little X's on everybody. Okay, so Amorous's journal. I'm assuming then from this that Marcus is the one that got stabbed with the spear, since he's the one that attacked. Hobson, the map maker, was the halfling who was attacked on the coastline by Marcos. And Amoros I don't know. Ooh, wait a second. Captain dead by knife. Amorous. Is Amorous accounted for? In the dead? Let me see who we had dead.
Was that the halfling?
Dead with spear, dead with no arm, dragonborn, bit in the neck. Ah! Amorous is the dragonborn. Hey! Look who takes notes. I'm guessing. I don't know. Detective Bayor with a -1 in investigation is on the case. Piecing things together.
This is more like a DM refresh Erica's mind as she reads her notes. In my notes, I have obsidian shard with white written down. Is that something that I found?
I am assuming that's referring to the obsidian shard that was like made in negative space in the journal that Celestina found.
All right, cool. Because I have like some drawings, and I'm just like, I can't read my own notes.
I just love the idea of Bayor is reading out this thing that's saying the shard, this terrible thing, corruption, and Rylan's just like looking at her bag, like,
Good. Just making sure I didn't find it.
This soup's gonna be real good, you guys.
I would
Wait a
actually
minute.
like to move as soon as possible.
The survivor. The survivor of the first team who keeps saying that they're real. Did we find... That's not a dead body here. Dead in the swamp. Captain dead in the tent. Dead with no chest was the halfling that was the map maker. Dead with no arm was the dragonborn bit in the neck. Dead with a spear in the tree was Marcos. That leaves the survivor of the first team unaccounted for at the camp.
So I will, just because it's been a while, and I'm looking back through my own notes as well. I will say this, little bit of a retcon, and I apologize. Bayor,
yeah.
There is a name in the beginning of this notebook that you recognize as like this journal belongs to blah blah blah. The name at the beginning of this notebook is Kalana.
Okay.
Amros, as far as you can tell from the information, is one of the party members that is unaccounted for. There are two other members of the scouting party that are unaccounted for in the dead, as well as now that you found the survivor.
That may or may not have confused me more, and I will ask questions after the session to see if that comes up. But let's continue.
As I see Bayor is looking a little bit confused, looking at the journals. It's when I go over and holding out a bowl of some hot fresh soup. I'm like, good for something? Take your mind off of it?
Yes, thank you.
Don't worry about it. Arguvar, are you hungry?
I am not. I would like to move as soon as possible.
Not gonna get far in an empty stomach. When was the last time you ate?
You should
I am
eat.
not sure. I think I should move. I think
No,
we
I
should
think you should
we can
eat.
walk and eat.
We don't have to walk and eat.
Aren't we waiting? Well, we're waiting. Right now, we're waiting for potions, yes?
We're going to be waiting an hour anyway. Might as well do something for your health.
I am good. I will not eat.
One thing.
Yes.
Bayor? You said something in the... I'm assuming that you repeated the information that you found in the journals?
Mm-hmm.
You said something about someone saying it's real. Isn't that what our captain said when we first found him? It's real. It's real. It's real. Repeated?
Has Yorick woken up yet?
He is, as the smell of food wafts towards him, he is now like waking up and someone make food.
Yeah, come on over.
It's a nice chicken and corn soup. I'm putting egg in it as well.
Yeah, got a couple of
Nice
cayenne
ramen.
peppers in there for a nice kick too.
And you see Yarick pulls up beside y'all and grabs himself a big bowl of the soup and just absolutely houses it.
It's a thick, creamy soup. Hope you liked it.
Delicious.
Am I not mistaken? That's what he said? That it is real?
Yorick, do you remember anything about this? Or anything about... Do you know anything about the spire, Yorick?
I'm remembering so much all at once. I think... Oh, I'm so sorry. And you see he turns and he vomits up all of this soup behind him.
Oh.
And turns back and he goes, It was very good. Can I have another bowl?
Yeah, I can give you another bowl.
Can I do a quick medicine check on Yarick? To see if he's like, whole.
On the up and up.
Sure.
I'm gonna look at Celestina and go.
Is this?
We didn't
Is
make
this
it
a
that
slime
bad,
guy all
right?
over again?
I taste this. I taste it. Hold on, I'm gonna roll. Can I roll
would like to
survival to
taste
see how
my
well I
own
taste
soup.
this?
Yeah.
How well I did here?
I'm gonna
taste it while you spiced it.
If I roll well enough, I'll do the whole recipe.
It's 18 on the die plus 5, so that is going to be a 23 medicine.
I'll take 15 for soup.
16 for soup? It's a very good. 15? It's a very good soup, especially given the ingredients you have on hand. It's a very passable soup.
Good
As
soup.
far as the medicine goes, Yarick he's bruised and he is scraped up. He looks like he has been inside the stomach of a very large creature. But all things considered, he's doing okay. The night's rest has done a wonder on all of you to restore your bodies, as you feel that there might have been some healing factor in the grove here.
When I see him vomit, I'm gonna look to Bayor and just.
And I might not hold that back. Just I'm like, because his reaction was like, that was very good. Like no one would do that.
Yorick, in seeing Yorick get sick, I actually reach into my bag. I pull out the ooze thing. How's the little guy doing in there in the little jar?
How's Morph?
Morph. You see, there's a lot of motion in the jar as it appears to be swirling and bubbling up and coming down, and there appears to be like a lot of movement going on in there.
I try to connect with it. If it can, again, I don't remember if it could or could not understand a language, but I see if there's like any semblance of thought as I'm like, "Good morning, creature. How are you doing today?" To its mind, or just like whatever it would comprehend as that.
Very much like the first time, you get a shock of just base instinct and emotion, but there is one that overwhelms all of the others this time, and that is hunger.
Upon realizing this is the big dilemma where I kind of like look up and I'm saying, Arguvar, you are someone who I need your help with something.
Yes.
And I take out the bottle here. It's hungry.
Okay. Well, I was actually going to bring it up now anyway. One moment. I'm going to go into my bag and pull this out. I mentioned this to Big G earlier, but if it is hungry, I am actually going to be an expecting parent in a way soon. And I'm going to pull out my dragon egg to the entire party and kind of place it down. We can go over this, but I've been reading a lot about caring for animals. I am very excited. What does it need?
Is this an animal? I look at it and I kind of like, I don't know if I would call it an animal, but I say, it doesn't, outside of letting me know that it's hungry, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't get specific. I could, I looked through my items. Let me see. Do I have a mess kit? I do have a mess kit. What are the chances that I would have a funnel?
I would say, yeah, you could have a funnel, or you could makeshift a funnel out of things that you have.
Pick a funnel. I say, do you think I could just put this in there and we can just pour stuff in?
Well, I can try something that I've been feeling very uncomfortably. I'm going to kind of hold my arm a little bit. I've been having some very uncomfortable feelings recently. I feel like I've not been myself tonight. And I kind of, while he's talking, a little stem starts to come out from underneath his scales. And I would like to cast Goodberry for the 10 berries from said little twig and kind of take it out. I had this feeling that I could do that, and it could be Fey weird, but I think if we give him some of these, it should be good.
Well, we need to talk about that. Hey,
I know there's a lot of bombs I'm dropping right now. I understand.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What? I sit there holding. Where are those bad? What?
Can I do something where I use my divine sense to detect good and evil to get a feel for our captain? Because I kind of already know that this morph goop, is not on the up and up. I want to know if Captain Yarick here is feeling some sort of way about eating, but not about eating soup. You know, is he trying to eat me? Is he trying to eat us? Is he hungry for something like that? He has an insatiable hunger to eat, and not of the soup variety.
Hey, Bail,
you can certainly try.
I love this dichotomy of you're either a soup enjoyer or a cannibal.
If you give me the thumbs up, Bayor, you know this. Arguvar will break his nose again.
Go time. Yeah, punch time. Yeah, punch time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will. I can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell. I can know the location of the Celestial Fiend undead, or just, I guess, detecting good and or evil. Yeah. So I'm going to use that as kind of, while they're talking, I guess, and pulling good berries out of their hands, I'm going to be staring very intently at Yarick and just kind of being in that, like, the lion sense is tingling, and just trying to see if I can feel him out a little bit.
Also, in the meantime, I am going to hand over the actual egg very gingerly over to Big G and just go, I would like you to get used to him, please.
Oh, of course. Come to mama. Give me a...
How big is this egg?
So like, yes, egg.
Yeah, dragon egg is, probably, about Big G's torso.
About a half of a Big G.
And it is right now you notice, as you pass it over, it is a beige, there aren't scales that line the egg, but there are like faint outlines of like diamonds in the, like, texturizing the shell of the egg. But other than that, it appears like a very large chicken egg.
Rock-a-bye dragon on the gold hoard.
Bayor, as you focus your vision towards Yarick, nothing sparks out at you at first. Nothing jumps out at you as evil as you gaze intently at him as he is just chowing down on his second bowl of soup now. And as you focus your vision a little more, you see there's this wisp of red smoke that seems to be just faintly wafting through his figure. And that's when you notice out of the peripheral of your eye, there's also that same faint puff of smoke in the figures of both Rylin and Big G.
How long has it been since the potions have been made?
It's probably around this time as you are doing this and everyone is finishing their soup, that Kamord walks back out from the tree. She holds a platter of wood that has small cups, and she passes it out to you and tells you to drink. As you do so, it is a flavor almost spot on to the tea at Balmora's.
Good tea.
Yeah, I drink it.
Oh wait, hold on.
And Bayor, as you all drink the tea with your spell up, just before the spell begins to fade from your vision, as the tea, it's almost like a green energy, like a green smoke that fills and pushes away that bit of wafting red as it like washes over everyone's body, and then the vision fades from the spell fades from you.
Well, that was my intention, was that if he was going to be pinging in my radar to get him to down one of these potions to see if it would happen. But cool. All right. That's disconcerting, but I'm not going to say anything to anybody about that.
Thank you again for this tea. It was delicious.
Of course.
The same as it's like the same as Bamora's.
If your intention is to make your way to the obelisk, I will tell you to be wary. There are many who have gone lost in the swamp. There are many who are still within the swamp, and I fear they are no longer themselves. Yes, Arguvar.
I'm gonna point to the branch that grew from me. I knew I could do that. I don't know how I knew I could do that. I sprung berries from my wrist. Got any pointers?
Is that new?
I knew
that
it.
Is
we
very
have to,
new.
We have to cut it off.
I mean, maybe it just means you're sprouting, you're growing new life, and you're more inclined to open your, dare I say, branches to more possibilities.
There is only
Rylan's
one way,
just
and
there
that is
with the
the
pun.
great equation. But
I mean, there comes a point in every Dragonborn's life where, as you age, things start to sprout.
That's how it works. Is that normal?
I have no idea. Not gonna lie, you're the first Dragonborn I've ever met, so.
He read it in one of those kobold faith books about worshipping dragons. This is puberty. This is it.
I should mention this while you are holding the future of my order that I hope you didn't just drop. I was going to just let Large G know about the future of my order, which is hopefully coming from this egg. But since we are about to go on a perilous journey, I could die. I have sprouted mushrooms and a branch from me. I've come to the conclusion that it is best to let all of you know that this is what I've been carrying. And, if I am to die, for you to raise it. Now, it will naturally be inclined to the great equation, thank goodness. So none of your odd, weird cultural corruption will inflict it. But hopefully, you will be kind and generous to it if I am gone.
I mean, we've been very kind and generous to many things. Why would we not be kind and generous to your hatchling?
I look at Yarick's broken nose.
He deserved it.
Just look at it.
I'll break it again.
There it is. Pop it back into place and then pop it on the other side.
Yeah, second time's a charm.
There is a stigma against dragons. That is my larger concern. I've noticed as I've traveled throughout the many lands that people seem to be skittish. But you must understand, in my order, they are seen as great prophets, and my order is nearly extinct with me. I hope that with this hatchling, we will one day rise again, and hopefully our influence will save the universe.
Does he know all of your things whenever he is hatched?
That is what I've been told.
Is there
If he
not?
doesn't, there will be a lot of training to do.
Is there not
But
like?
if you're gone,
Wait.
how
It's
will he
gonna-
learn?
I have been told that the great prophets, once hatched, will know everything of the regulation scrolls. So, once he is hatched, or she, or they, it will be fine.
Wait, you said this will save the universe?
Yes, my order will save the universe. That is a fact.
Yeah, you believe in the universe, but you don't believe in realms?
It's very
Yes.
odd.
It's interesting.
Space is very much real. Planes of existence is silly.
Right, but
I'm sorry, what's
also-
a space?
As he says with a smirk.
Space is real. As a cartographer, I could tell you, space real.
Did you get that funnel? I'm going to move
Oh.
the good berry.
Oh yeah. I realized I've just been kind of I've just been packing up and getting things. Oh, what that? Yeah, I put that away a while ago. I thought we were just gonna do it later.
Bring Morph back out, please.
I just put it on. I just put it on the ground as I'm helping pack up the rest of the tent and getting everything ready. I'm like, you've got this, I trust you.
I'm gonna pick up Morph and try to put it on my arm and just feed it the good berries. Now, good berry says that any creature that consumes it gains health or 1 hit point of health. So I think this should be able to sustain just about any creature, although it is a goop. So who's to say? And also, this is my first time doing this. By the way, from 3rd level to 4th level, I thought it would be fun and interesting from the weirdness of the swamp that Arguvar takes a single level in Druid.
Oh, I knew what you were doing when you said the good berry. I'm like, that's a Druid spell.
I thought
Alright.
you just took the Druid Initiate feat.
Uh-huh.
No. I'm a multi-class baby. I'm weird.
Alright.
Hey, hey.
Goodness.
Wow.
Arguvar, so you're taking Morph out and putting them on your arm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome.
Oh.
And I'll put it into the berries. Or
as soon as you dump more out onto your arm and you put the berry towards it, you feel something dig into the flesh of your arm.
I forgot that he does That's So Raven. Motherfucker. Okay.
You take 2 points of damage.
Yow.
As tiny little teeth tear into your arm.
Okay.
You also take 2 additional points of psychic damage.
Okay.
Arguvar, all of a sudden, you cannot remember the words zebra, horse, horseshoe, soup, mushroom, camel, candle, and lantern.
Don't need him. Don't need him.
There's just words that all of a sudden you're just drawing blanks on random words in your vocabulary. You're yeah, and you're having to come across it as you quickly. I don't know if you want to scoop this thing off.
Can I try to do an animal handling on Morph?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to use my other dice just because D&D Beyond is always wily. I'm scared.
Hey, Arguvar.
It is.
Arguvar, are you sure we still got a bowl left of this? Are you sure you don't want any of this?
Any soup? I'm putting it away. I say no.
I
Okay,
honestly,
that's my attack.
I would much rather not take your strange goop.
I mean, it's delicious. It's good. Are you sure you
I
don't
knew
want any of it?
as soon as you said he was going to lose words, the Janders was like, "Oh, it's an ad lib session now. This is."
How do I work zebra into this?
His mind is already cranking. He's like, "Oh my god, we've already
I
had
heard
the
soup and I was like, let's go."
That's going to be a 17.
17.
I think we're ignoring the fact that Kurt has absolutely canonized zebras as existing in this world.
Geckos are here now.
Geckos, zebras. I'm watching out.
And I knew about zebras, which is crazy.
Dude, well, I'm just saying, when we hit the zoo arc, it's gonna be bananas.
Man.
What exactly are you trying to do with this animal handling check, Arguvar?
I am actually trying to work as best I can. I would like to keep Morph as a friend. I like Morph. He's kind of cute in a weird, disgusting way. And I would like to calm him down and bring him. I have all these weird, like, ceremonial cups. I would like to put him into one of those cups and just hope he vibes out to the best of his ability.
What's your AC?
My AC, whoa, okay. This is the first time I've ever been asked AC on an animal handling. That's new. 16. Does he explode?
No, but as you do this, he does take another nib at you, breaking some flesh again. You take another 1 point of piercing damage and 1 point of psychic damage, as you forget what your favorite color is.
Who needs it? By the way, it's brass.
It's definitely not purple.
But however, now having gotten some food, or what it considers food, Morph goes into your little ceremonial cup. It sloshes out and evens out as like this little liquid, and you see Arguvar, the forms and the faces that are shifting up and coming to the surface resemble people from your memory. It resembles people from your order. It resembles Mother. It resembles yourself even, as it appears to be taking on some traits.
I look up and I'm like, I have good news and odd news. The good news is the slime is clearly learning my order and soon will follow it. The odd news is it might have to take a nip here or there. And then I'm going to really out myself as a little bit of a Catholic back in the day. I'm going to put the ceremonial top to that goblet. Just fucking close that bad boy up and be like, I hope you learn. Oh, I'm also going to shove all the berries in there too and just hope and pray that it eats the berries. And like gets used to berries instead of me. I hope maybe one of the thoughts I was thinking was eat the goddamn berries, but like that's the move.
Wait,
having like a Catholic, like the censor thingy. I'm imagining though, like a drink mixer is what you've just put it in.
Shaken, not stirred.
And yeah, Arguvar, you close the cap up, adjust this ceremonial goblet on you.
And I'm going to look up at Large G and just go, this will be a very odd companion to a future prophet.
Hey, I have an idea, though. I have an idea. So, these things seem to, like, shape-shift into the memories of whatever they take, right? If there's enough. At least that's our theory.
Yes, we have many theories about the goop.
What if we
If you suggest I goop my egg, I will honestly hurt you, Large G. That is a baby. You are already showing to me to be an irresponsible parent.
Well, I was just thinking we have two then.
I'm going to ask for my prophesied egg back.
Here's your egg back.
I'm gonna pick it up and it's just like.
And then a great miracle happened. That stuffed animal was passed to Brill.
I'm also going to look at Large G and just. I do not understand your humor, and I'm going to ignore it for now. But
that was a serious like thought. Yeah, I was being serious.
It's an egg.
Well, you were telling me that they're going extinct. I was just thinking forward. If we had two of them, there's two more.
Honestly, Big G, we'll talk about this later, but you might be onto something, but I'm still scared about my baby.
As the silence from Big G, like, as we all go, like, wait, what? I kind of finished packing up, like, the last of, like, the cooking supplies, getting everything cleaned out. I'm like, are you guys ready to go look for a spire, or... And I look over at Arguvar, and I see the chunks, and I say, oh my god, what did you do? What did you do? Where did it go? Where
I put it away. It will learn my order, and I'm very happy to teach
it. Get out of what you put it in?
No. It is cupped in the holiest of my order.
It is cupped.
As long as you're keeping it safe, that's fine. Just
I will teach it, and it will learn. His name is Morph.
All right. Well, then I'm going to trust that you'll keep Morph safe, or at the very least, keep it away from your brain. But
I've given it berries. I believe we should be fine. Berries of my body.
I just kind of, at this point, Celestina is just kind of like, I don't understand magic. I don't understand what's happening here. But I'm like, you know what? And I just kind
I'll
of
be
stick my.
honest, Celestina, this is a weird day for me too. This isn't my norm.
But I pick up my bag and I'm like, all right. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Are you guys
I'm
ready?
not weird, guys.
Are you guys ready to get back in there?
Yeah, I look at the group and say, "Can I suggest a small, brief huddle? Yarick, could you go and pack your things, get ready to travel, and then."
Certainly, yeah. We should be on the road at once, of course.
Yes, right. Go ahead.
Captain here.
Captain.
I suggest that we perhaps tell Yarick to stay behind so that when the Feld arrives, that they have someone to travel with them to the Great Trench.
That's
I agree.
a very good idea.
It's a great idea, actually.
Do you believe he is a slime?
Is he allowed to stay here?
No. Well, maybe
We could ask.
should. Yes.
Sorry?
Ask for him to stay in the safety of the Spring Court.
It would probably be a lot safer for him to stay back as opposed to getting closer to it.
Oh no! I mean, he couldn't even make it past the swamp, honestly. To make it into a possible dragon's lair.
He is worthless, absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So
I would
York, you're
suggest he
staying
makes
behind.
Yarick, I'm sorry, but we decided to have a mutiny.
You're fine.
You see Yarg pokes his head up, and as he's been packing, he's actually opened up a pack of his rations and has been eating it. Looks up and goes, What?
You're staying here.
Yeah.
For your safety.
The last time we went out into the swamp, you nearly died about a couple of times. You lost all of your memories. It'd probably be better if you stay here. And if they're going to be helping lead the Feld out of here, we need somebody to do, at the very least, be able to be a point of contact.
You are almost a walking corpse. We cannot have you tagging along.
I also don't want you to die.
I go over to Yarick and say, Yarick, your mission was to lead the Feld to the Great Trench. And that is still your mission. Ours carries us to the Spire, which is in a completely different direction than what you're headed. So,
and you're eating right now. We need to go.
If Commord would agree to hold you here.
Yeah, we should probably ask that first.
That
to
was
welcome the
presumptuous
Feld,
of us.
Mm-hmm. Then that's what we shall do. If you could stay right here.
I'm going to also walk over.
Where is Commord, by the way?
Commord is back in her grove. She's easy to find. You go and you make the request. She
actually, I am going to say to her that I have a very strong suspicion that Yarick is sick with something that I cannot cure. And he would be much safer with someone who has way more power over her domain than traveling with the likes of us into a dark spire that might compromise our current agreement.
The last time I gave your kind safe passage, safe journey, they carved into my lover. If you want me to watch over this one, I need some assurance. I need more of the swamp lotus to at least make sure I can keep whatever sickness he has under check.
How much did we grab?
Not very much.
One.
I grabbed one, and I grabbed what I thought were pods of others to put into like my druid craft pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Can I take what I think are the pods of the other ones out and try to fully bloom them into actual...
Sure, you can try.
So I think I grabbed like 3. Like I just grabbed like ones that were like around that were not fully bloomed as like seedlings to keep as like a collective, so I could always have these flowers with me. But I will take from my stock and try to bloom them with my druid craft into full.
Sure. Rylin, it's weird. You focus your druidic magics on the flowers, and it's a simple magic. You've done it countless times before, but something doesn't click right away with the flowers. And as you focus and prod a little bit more, it dawns on you that it's the reverse process. And normally the magic that you would focus into a flower to make it wilt, you focus that magic into these seeds and they bloom into these large white petaled lotuses.
Is this enough? So I now have like 4 in my hand.
She takes them from you and says, "Yes, this should be plenty for a time. Thank you. I will watch over him, make sure nothing happens to him."
While that is happening, I'm going to approach York, put my arm around him. You are going to have to stay here for your own safety. And while I would normally go over the 47 rules of hospitality to help explain what you need to do, I'm going to sum it up. Clean them up after yourself, and be generous and kind to your host. And also, if you are not, you will most likely be turned into a tree.
Oh.
And I'm going to point to the branch in my arm, and I'm like, I believe we might be inflicted by the same thing.
Oh. Well, I don't want to turn into a tree. You know, the old mate probably would have taken offense to this, but I'm turning a new leaf for myself, I think, and I agree. I'm going to stay here.
That's very good. I'm going to leave now.
I'm
going to walk away while he's talking to me.
Poor Yarick. Starting to feel bad for him.
All right, are we ready to move?
Roger,
Yes.
dodger.
All right.
You right there, Rylin?
Yes. It's been a very long few days.
You were
I've learned a lot. I was eaten. That did happen. I'm not the strongest of people. At least not physically. But I'm ready. I think this is where we have to go. Especially if it could save my people. I have people.
Big G, can you point us to the north? Because we have to go to the east.
Glowing arrow.
Oh my god, his arrow works now. Like, for sure.
Finally!
North.
With your keen mind, Big G, you know exactly. There's no doubt in your mind now. You bring it up, that arrow, boom, like an straight as can be north. And as you make your way back into the swamp once more, I need a marching order.
I'll go first. No,
I'll be behind Big G.
No, I won't. I do not want to go first.
I'll go first.
Bayor, okay.
I'll ride on Bayor's shoulder if he's fine with that.
I can go after Bayor.
Oh, I'll be in the
I
middle
take up
then.
most of the sight lines being a big maned individual, but
Yeah, I guess I'm taking up the rear here.
Celestina. Okay, then Bayor, as the one leading the way, I need you to make a survival check.
oh heck, I think that's not going to last very long.
I'm gonna lead up to
actually.
Bayor and just go.
Actually, I'll say, make a group survival check here. Whoever will be leading the way, because even if you're taking the lead, Celestina could presumably be like pointing the way from the back. So yeah, go ahead, everyone, make a survival check.
Bayor.
Nice.
Yes.
Bayor, I must admit, I must confess for my own faith.
8.
I wish to break his nose a second time.
I don't know if that was from your faith or just from your own desires, Arguvar.
No, I must confess for my face. My desires were to break his nose again.
Yes.
So their noses just dent in so easily. It's so you could just keep doing it to everyone you see. It's honestly hard to resist.
Very different from your shape, yes.
I know. I have a large nose. One better for sniffing, clearly. It is built better.
I rolled a 19 for survival. while we're talking about noses.
Well, we're talking about breaking noses.
Arguvar and Rylin?
Oh yeah, no. So periodically, where like you just like every once in a while saw this pixie kind of healing creature, kind of fey magic, kind of like peek up. Now, like you kind of see it like more sporadically as like I continually cast like guidance on myself. So with the guidance, that is a 22 plus modifier for a total of 29 survival.
That is incredible. I crit failed.
Did you roll on the? Did you roll?
I wanted to give D&D Beyond a second chance, and I crit failed. And
it was like
I need to go back to physical dice, but it's just so easy just to click the button.
Right.
I'm about to send you dice, bro.
I know.
So
I had dice like right over here, but like my brain is just like, oh, click the button. It's right here. D&D Beyond won't be cruel to you this time. It will every time.
Yeah.
I'm too focused on talking about noses, basically. Really wrapped up in it.
So as you make your way back into the swamp again, you are reminded how terrible this place is to navigate through. As you march further and deeper into the swamp, the evidence of the Feywild is all over the place. There are thick vines. There are large insects that are flying through the swamp now. There's strange flowers blooming all over the place. You get turned around for a moment and can sort Celestina's map there for a minute before Rylin, you're looking off into the distance, and all of a sudden you see your pixie friend buzz over your shoulder and just zoom off into the swamp ahead of you, and you chase after them for a second, and you notice that they have stumbled across these glowing blue orbs that you've seen from a distance, but now are much closer than you have before. These are the wisps that you've seen through the swamp. And they are lighting a path forward that your pixie friend appears to be kind of weaving in and out of.
Considering sword, considering no sword.
It happens many times when okay, all right.
So we do actually, unfortunately, need to go quietly through this area to get... This might be the first defenses of where we're going. Yes. It's this way, I think,
Good.
through the glowing wisps.
Are we so safe to get near those things? I thought we would.
Will-O-Wisps will lead you to peril, but that's where we're headed anyway.
Yeah, just, maybe if we don't come too closely in contact with them, it might be okay. Just don't try to touch them.
I think that maybe we should just remain quiet and creep through.
Yes. Yes, that's what I'm... Yes.
I snooze.
As I slosh halfway through, waist deep in swamp water.
Oh no, I say that in armor. Yeah, no, it's...
Would you all like me to run up ahead and check it out? I'm pretty sneaky individual when I want to be.
But last time we got split up from you, you got eaten by a big frog.
Yes,
I would not
that's
like that to
good.
happen. I think we should just sneak.
Okay.
Thank you. I need you to take care of my child if I am dead, Big G.
Well, what happens if I die before you?
And I'll pick another one.
Does that mean that Big G is the godfather to the egg?
Yes.
That's what the G stands for.
I'm waiting for it.
Permit me to die. I'm waiting for it to be the guy.
Oh no! If we're modeling this mathematical thing off of the good old Catholic boys, I mean the Godfather's got to do some upbringing too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Part of the
Big
family.
Godfather, here I come.
May we roll stealth, oh great DM?
You
who is wise
may.
and powerful
Everyone
and
give me a
very
stealth check.
Yeah.
Why do I have to waste my high rolls on something I'm bad at?
What?
All right.
23.
What the hell?
Nice. Now, what is my dexterity?
So,
Not bad.
there's always that awkward moment where you just go, okay, so D&D Beyond's bad. Give
Roll
me that
another, not
one.
one.
Yeah.
I did on a physical dice.
Oh
And you did it again. You did it again.
There's
Guess who
no
else?
Place, you two? Did we fall on each other?
So,
I sneeze. I said I sneezed, so I sneeze. I mean, and it's a lion sneeze. I mean, like huge.
Did I sneeze too? Was it
Big
fire
sneeze.
and roaring?
just a couple of something gets in both of your noses as Bayor and Arguvar just sneezing fit back and forth in the swamp. As you are making your way through very quietly. Luckily, there doesn't appear to be any change or effect from the wisps as you are making your way forward. I do. Rylin, you notice there does appear to be a sound that stops. Like the sound of movement that has stopped up ahead. I need you all to make a wisdom saving throw with advantage here.
Oh
I wiped
Thank
the
you.
snot off my face.
Oh.
I have a +7 now. Let's go.
With advantage?
With advantage.
Natural 20.
That's a 15 DM. I'm sticking with D&D Beyond. They got mad at me because I betrayed them, and I'm back now, so we're good. I can't win. I'm just gonna have many dice next session. Just maybe you.
Just keep throwing them. I'm a 16.
Rylin?
I am a 24.
And Celestina?
Oh, with advantage, 10.
10.
Yes.
So all of you, as this sneezing fit has happened. Excuse me.
You too,
excuse me. And Rylin has called your attention to the sound up ahead. You all feel this fear that rises up in your chests, and you're able to calm it and quell it down, except Celestina, you feel as you're trying to quell it down, you look down and your hand is just ever so slightly shaking. And you hear and see through the tree line up ahead this hulking form of flesh that is crashing through the trees, and it lets out this roar in the swamp as you all just freeze as it is looking around. It hasn't seen you yet, but it is looking around through the swamp.
Sorry. So I wipe my nose.
Paralyzed with fear.
Hold, Celestina. You're gonna be okay.
Oh,
You're gonna be okay.
what is that?
Just close your eyes for a second. We're going to make our way Gentlemen, yes. As quietly as possible. Maybe swords at the ready.
What makes the grass grow? Blood, blood, blood.
Trusting Rylin, I do close my eyes and kind of just keep like listening in and following the direction where everyone's going.
As this creature, as you are slowly backing up and trying to get away, you see this creature come into focus now, and there is a very unfortunately familiar symbol that you see clinging to the shoulder on some of the scraps of fabric that are on this torso, as it realizes this is one of the scouts.
How big is this thing?
It is not much taller than you would be, Bayor, probably 6.5, 7 feet tall. It appears there's the one the head on its torso, its hair is falling out and it's patchy, and you see there is a large tumor that is growing out of its one shoulder that you can make this twisted visage of a face that has begun to grow on it. It is a swollen mound of flesh. You see its hands have begun to form back into these long tendrils that are snaking off of its body as it is tearing through the swamp water. It's throwing logs as it's trying to search for you.
Ayor.
So to call...
It was one of our companions.
To try and calm Celestina down as the gentlemen are talking, I just tell her to look into my mind, and I just have like these very pretty images of like water and like rainbows to try and like get her out of her fear.
While that's happening, I'm locked. Ayor, we need to kill it. Take it out of its misery. It's clearly in pain.
Hey, would I be able to redo the save? Just trying to like calm down with the help of Rylin.
Sure, go for it.
Callista, they're always at advantage, baby. You fell for my trap. That's either a 23 or a 21.
I'm also going to lean in a bit. I can send you right up into it without it expecting anything.
So, Bayor and Arguvar, as you have this conversation, Celestina, you calm your mind again, and you feel this fear start to quell. And Rylin, as you have your eyes focused on this creature in front of you, you see almost as Celestina calms down, this creature, its movements slow down. It becomes less ferocious. It seems to be calming down with Celestina.
Odd. Be fine.
Well, we all just keep a calm mind. Calm mind's going into this.
I still pull out my greatsword.
We're still talking about a wombo combo.
I want to imagine it's behind me. I have not turned around and my eyes have been shut this entire time.
I'm gonna sneak up next to Bayor and go,
Psst, hey Bayor.
Yes.
If you get close to it, I can do a little jokesy thing that will help you hit it too. I'm just letting you know.
I'm going to.
And I sneak back into the shadows.
Powerball.
I'm just going to say I can get you right up close to it if we need to, immediately, and give you cover.
Is it traveling like the same direction that we're going, or is it still like? Is it in our path, or is it walking the same path that we are?
So if you were headed east, it came from due east, and as you have kind of made your way around, it has wandered close to the space that you were, but is sort of blindly searching the area.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look at Arguvar and say, whatever made that creature holds the power over this entire land. We should save our strength for the spire. But if it comes towards us, do what needs to be done.
Fine.
With the hopes maybe that it blows up when we blow up the spire. I hope it does. I hope it pops like a little tick.
Ticks are
Celestina?
disgusting.
Celestina, how are you feeling?
I'm doing fine. I kind of turn and look. This is probably my first time getting a look at the creature.
Stay calm. Stay connected to my mind.
How does it react to me like looking? I'm trying to like almost make eye contact with this. Like I kind of turn around and kind of look to see this creature.
Still does not see you directly, but as you gaze on it, you notice that twinge of fear doesn't come back. And this creature doesn't appear to be like lashing out for you. It doesn't appear to know where you are. It doesn't really appear to react. If anything, it appears to be slowing down, especially as the rest of you have sort of decided to not lash out against it. It appears to be lumbering almost now and just sort of slowly taking a stroll through the swamp.
How far away is it?
At this point, probably 50 feet.
Okay. If it was any closer, I would have been trying to talk to it in its mind. Literally any closer. But I look at it. You feel that immediately, like, as soon as I see this creature, my mind disconnects from Rylin's. As I kind of just look at it, and I'm like... And I imagine I noticed, like, the symbols on it. I'm like... Is that the... Oh my god. As I kind of just like take a step back, kind of overwhelmed by that, realizing that was a person. And something did that to that person. And I like kind of like immediately like that kind of like just being a little bit more like excited about just going on this journey. Like you see Celestina just kind of turn and look to everyone, and I say, all right, I think that we need to get this done as quickly as possible. If something is doing that, and I just look like a very pitiable look on this creature, and without waiting for a response, I kind of just, with that new sense of determination, start making my way towards where the spire would be, without saying anything else.
And as you travel on here, I'm gonna ask for one more group wisdom saving throw with advantage again.
D&D Beyond, be kind to me, please.
Oh god,
Ooh,
not
god.
6 or come on, baby.
Ooh. That's a natural 20.
That's another 10, baby.
Oh wait,
Well.
advantage. I was like, all right, that one's gonna suck. 5.
That's a 23 from me, Dad.
Gotcha.
The wise druid clerics. What's up? What's up?
Okay, or what was that? I'm sorry.
A 10.
A 10.
Well, it was
so
a 5 first.
Bayor and Celestina, both of you at moments throughout this journey feel this anxiety welling up as you make this tense trek through the swamp. You notice more and more as you get deeper into the swamp, there isn't just one line of will-o-wisps that is headed towards your destination. You see there are more paths that line up as if almost a river of will-o-wisps is all flowing in this same direction. You also quickly realize that you are not alone in the swamp, and that creature was not the only thing out there. Most of them, thankfully, keep their distance from you as you all keep a level head. Like I said, Celestina, Bayor, there's moments where you have anxious, and in those moments you can see the shadows growing closer to you through the fog, and you can start to hear these strange calls from these creatures, but you're a group. You stay calm-headed and you have each other's backs, and as these anxieties subside, the creatures fade back into the swamp. And it's about a day's journey good 8 or 9 hours trekking through the swamp before you see the obelisk rising out of the fog ahead of you.
Do I need to know what zebras are?
You still do not know what zebras are.
I would actually. Can I talk to Arguvar on the journey?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'll let you.
Arguvar, I just had I'm so interested in your order and your vows. You know, I've never heard of anything like it. Like you seem to have so much knowledge behind you. Like, could you tell me more about that?
What would you like to know in particular?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what your vows are. Like, just like if you could spout a couple off of your head. Like,
Well, the crystal scrolls of regulation immediately dictate many different pursuits and relations and ritual when it comes to mating, especially. I am to find another one of not only my order, but of my own sex, and then we will mate under the full moon at twilight 10 years from now. It's very distinct.
That's beautiful. Now you were saying you follow like dragons. What kind of dragon do you follow specifically?
Not anyone in particular. We had many dragons as prophets long ago.
Yeah, but like, if you had to pick a color that was your favorite, what would it be?
A color that was my favorite.
Yeah, of dragon.
A color that was my favorite.
Is everything okay? I didn't mean to stump you there. Like, have you never thought about that question before? I feel like everybody picks one.
You know, I think I haven't given it all that much thought.
Oh well, I mean, you knew everything at the beginning of you know.
I also do not like to judge dragons by the colors of their scales.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, I gotta thank you. You've taught me so much. I mean, you taught me what those big dogs were called earlier. I mean, I forget it now, but what were the names? The ones that you told me to ask the king or the mayor for.
Mayor. I do not enjoy these questions.
I'm just. Anyway, it was nice knowing about your vows. I hopped back on Bior's shoulder.
As this conversation is happening, Rylin,
you monster.
Something that catches your eye that is off in the swamp that has not been present before. And that is 2 sets of wheel tracks.
Wait a minute. That dwarf.
Hey, everybody. I found wheel tracks over this way in the swamp.
I like make my way towards them.
I follow behind Rylin.
Very gingerly.
Like an investigation.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
How fresh are those?
All right.
Yeah, anyone that would like to investigate the wheel tracks, give me an investigation here.
Sure.
Honestly, DM, I don't really want to know. That's an 8. I don't care.
Ooh, that's 21.
You're just really bothered by the big dog things that Big G was mentioning, and you're like, I don't remember sending anyone off for dogs.
I'm just sitting there going like,
yeah, those big dogs.
I'm so hungry I could eat a. Wait a minute.
So 21, 8. I'm sorry, what was that, Rylin?
18.
18. Anyone else here?
9.
I'm not gonna try to
21.
figure that out.
So Big G, and Rylin, as you hop down and really start investigating these tracks here, it is very obvious that they are headed towards where you're headed, towards the same direction of the obelisk, and they were not trying to disguise their tracks at all. It seems like for the most part they were actually like brute forced. Like there are trees that have been cleared. There have been like little makeshift bridges over deeper water that they have like made over. There's a clear path through the woods.
And exactly which direction would that be, like, comparative to north?
So these tracks, if you are headed to the east, these tracks are coming from the southwest, headed towards...
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a menace with keen mind.
Dangerous thing.
Rylin, do you see this? They're going, northeast.
Directly where we're going?
Northwest.
In the same direction to where our lovely path is headed?
Yeah.
That's
That could be a
unfortunate.
good sign.
Could be a really bad sign.
I mean, it could mean that they're still there. We can save them.
Or
I like how you think, Big G.
you're very optimistic.
Well, I try my best.
Whatever we choose, I don't think we should stand here, and I just keep looking around. This is a very dangerous place.
We need to keep moving. Maybe with a little more stealth than we were walking previously through the will-o-wisps. Gentlemen.
So this was an active road? Like active trail?
Someone has forced a couple of wagons through this swamp, come hell or high water.
Okay.
Maybe it was a traveling circus.
I cannot see why we would need clowns in the swamp.
It's a very
brighten
sad
up our day.
place. But yeah, all right. Continue on to the spot. Is there like an entrance that this is leading to? Can we see that yet, or is this still like spire in the distance?
Yeah, you can start to make out, especially through this trail left through the swamp by these wagons. The spire is not very far ahead of you now, and it appears to be standing on top of a more like a rocky outcropping of a hill that is risen up from this swamp.
I have like extra perception as we travel further into.
Sure. Give me then stealth checks, everyone, if you're going stealthy, and give me that perception, Rylin.
Stealth for me, 18 plus. Stealth is 18 plus 2, so dirty 20, and then perception is going to be even better for 28.
28. All right, stealth checks from everyone else.
25.
Not one. I'm so disturbed by like just the amalgamations of flesh that I don't even. I'm too on edge to be sneaky.
I'm a lot of things, but sneaky ain't one of them. That's an 8 there, Dad.
Excellent. And Bayor?
I got a 20.
20, excellent. So
not
making your way
not a nat 20, just a flat 20.
Down this trail that you found here towards this obelisk that has risen up from the swamp ahead of you, Rylin, there is something catches your eye, a glint of something reflective along the surface of the obelisk, something very reminiscent of a scale to you, and you duck down for a moment before you realize it's not moving. It's very still. It's unnaturally still, and your eyes come into focus. It's hard to tell because you're looking at black scales against a black obelisk. But hanging upside down against the obelisk is a dragon, and it is very much dead.
Arguvar, I suggest you turn around.
Why? What's the problem?
I feel like you might not want to see this.
I can handle anything.
Just trust me.
How big is this dragon?
Celestina, it is large.
How big is the obelisk?
The obelisk rises a good couple of 100 feet into the air as you are now exiting the tree line and making your way into this grove. Arguvar, you, as someone who's very familiar with the study of dragons, at first this appears like, oh, very obviously this is a black dragon. There's obvious signs from the horns and the black scales, but then there's something odd. The scales are less scaly and more stone-like in quality. They're thicker. At the edges of the wings that you can see are outspread. It's almost like these black gems are forming. It's almost like this dragon is made out of the same obsidian material that the obelisk is made out of.
I'm gonna, once I see that, kind of wide-eyed and slowly look up, I'm gonna turn to Rylin. I appreciate the concern, but all things must die, even dragons. And I need to see this. And I'm going to start to kind of make my slow approach and kind of look up. Can I, one, try to investigate to see if the obelisk is the source of these weird gems, and two, any discernible features on this dragon that might help me relate to who he might have been, or she, or they?
I'm traveling not super close behind Brill, but like behind Arguvar, but enough to kind of keep watch, and if there's anything, because I've not found the people that were in the carts yet.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, as you approach here, Arguvar, you're just looking up at this dragon at the obelisk. Rylin, you notice out of the corner of your eye, as you see far off towards the tree line, there are two wagons that sit. And Arguvar, I'll say, before you can do this inspection or get much closer, you hear an unnervingly familiar voice say, "I wondered when you would be arriving." As you see, there is a shadowy figure that rises from beneath where this dragon lies. You see there is something dark and wet that is covering the front of their cloak. You see red scales that line a snout is peeking out from behind this hood, and a reptilian tongue that licks the lipless snout clean of this liquid that is dripping from it. And slowly it rises, two clawed hands. One of them, you see Arguvar, is red, and the other one, the right arm, it's much larger. It's swollen, and it is covered in black, obsidian-like scales. As the hood pushes back, and Arguvar, you are staring at the face of Omega. He says,
I'm immediately going to push off my bag with the egg immediately into Rylin. Just shove it back there and start to essentially make my approach with my sword.
And as you do so, we will call it for the evening.
Ooh.
So, thank you all so much for joining us on episode 4 of Diceburgh. We are back in 2 weeks' time.
Ooh.
I know we hate to wait, but we are back in 2 weeks' time. That is March 22nd, same time, 7:30. If you can't get your fill of the wonderful 5% crew, don't worry, because tomorrow night, our one and only Curtis Haflet will be DMing the Ash and Shade Committee at 7:30, 8 o'clock? 7:30. 7:30. I am told by the man in my ear. Also on Sunday, please join us for the Lost Mines of Phandelver as well. Follow us on Twitter. You can stay up to date at Chance5. We send out tweets anytime we go live and updates. You can also follow us now on the official Chance5 TikTok account, where you'll see clips from this episode and all the other episodes that we have here on 5% Chance. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. We've been 5% Chance. We'll see you next time.
Don't forget, if you also missed any episodes, you can catch up on YouTube, or tell your friends to catch up on YouTube before the stream.
Dude, there was something I forgot. Thank you.
It's fine. That's what I'm here for.
That's what we're here for.
Yep. And you also forgot patreon.com/dumpsatpodcast.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Take it easy.